gamers, and welcome to a lore episode of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. I am joined today by Kitsune, my dearest friend, who has been friends with me for over 7 years now.
Oh god, we've known each other that long?
Yeah! And I am giving a shout out to her amazing channel because she finally got a computer that can record, and it's going to be super awesome, and I can't wait to see her videos. Alright, so we are going to be talking about things that have happened both in the future of the game and in the past of the game, and kind of lores from Hyrule Historia and stuff like that. So if you are not okay with spoilers, skip this episode. I will be posting another one later this week to make up for the fact that this is just a lore episode. So I'm personally really excited to talk about Kakariko, which I'm heading there now.
Kakariko. Kakariko's a nightmare in a box.
It is a nightmare in the box. It's like opening up Pandora's box and then shoving your worst nightmare into it.
I wouldn't go that far, but it is a nice, tasty nightmare in a box.
There have been a lot of people who later plot in Kakariko, it has literally scarred them for life because they were kids when they played it.
I can almost guarantee I know exactly which part scarred them.
I will be posting a picture of what exactly we're talking about. Over the video, so that way you can see what I'm referring to. This thing that you have to fight in the well is...
We were talking about the same thing.
Yes, we are. Anybody who has played this game to the end knows what we are referring to when we say the well. In the well, which right now is full of water, as you can see, it is full of water. Later on, you drain the water out, and you have to go down into the well to fight a dungeon as Child Link. And there is something you have to fight there and in the Shadow Temple, which is way later in the plotline, that just gives everyone nightmares. It personally did not bother me, but hearing stories of other people's experiences with it, I'm honestly surprised this thing hasn't popped up in a creepypasta yet.
You mean it hasn't?
No, it hasn't, and that is amazing.
That's like perfect creepypasta fuel.
I know. Like, the best thing you could do is, like, Link comes into the area, and you don't actually see the thing. Like, its arms aren't there, and it's not there, and you run around a lot. But when you exit, its arms are all over the place.
That would be absolutely nightmare-inducing.
It would. Like, you go into town, and you're, like, zigzagging to avoid its arms, and the arms are just all over the place.
Bonus points. If it is absolutely invulnerable to attacks.
Yes. Like, it grabs hold of you, and at first it doesn't show up, but when it shows up, it doesn't have a face. I'm gonna stop there, because I'm gonna give Kitsu nightmares.
Yeah.
So...
Kitsu does not handle horror well. To anyone who, locates my channel, I
will give a link in the description.
Yeah, I'm not actually remembering what my channel name is right now. I apologize.
I'll find it.
But anyone who comes to my channel hoping for, say, horror games, you are in to be sorely disappointed because it's not happening.
I will eventually one day be playing horror games, but I'm hoping to do face cam for that, so I won't be doing that for a little while until I have the software to do it. So, yeah, this thing's a horror. For this, the entire well, the entire temple is just complete horror. It's filled with undead. And a big point we were talking about earlier is the fact that the people in this town drink the water.
Well,
Yeah, and it is at the bottom of this well. Again, I will post links. It's just filled, not links, I will show pictures. It's just filled with undead.
Yeah.
And it's like, can you imagine how disgusting that water would, one, taste and look?
It looks pretty clear, but
yeah,
even in the HD version, it looks pretty clear. But
but
then you actually think about what's down there.
And you're like, okay, even with them having some kind of sink system where it has what is that called, Kitsu?
I think it's an S-bend.
Yeah, even if it has the S-bend of a sink where it goes down and then back up, the water pressure from the well would be higher than that S-bend, and you'd still get backwash from the undead stuff that's in there.
Just, I actually have more nightmares about the well than I do the Shadow Temple. The Shadow Temple, I actually find weirdly peaceful in how creepy it is.
Yeah, it's not like terrifying creepy or like you aren't expecting this giant frickin' armless monster with a frickin' buck-toothed jaw to come crawling out of the ground and like try to eat your face while it's sucking your life out of your mouth with God knows what on its hands.
So, I actually had a guide the first time I managed to reach Dead Hand. Dead Hand is the name of that enemy, for those who don't know.
Yeah. For good reason.
Yeah. But I actually had a guide for that part because, I wasn't that good at Zelda when I was growing up. Like, I got stuck in the Deku Tree. I was so bad. And so I'm looking around in this room that I'm supposedly in going, okay, where's the enemy?
Yeah.
Because supposedly there's an enemy in here. Instead, I'm just seeing
weird
these
tentacles coming out of the
tentacle
ground.
things. Attacking the tentacles isn't doing anything. What's going on? What did I do wrong?
And
Am
then
I in
one
the right
grabs
room?
you.
One grabbed me and I just about pissed myself.
This is thing comes spinning out of the ground and just tries to fucking eat your face. And it's like slowly waddling towards you. It's not doing like the normal enemy thing of jumping or like moving around you. No, it's coming straight the fuck towards you. And you're sitting there going, oh dear, fuck, no!
Like, I knew to expect the thing.
The panic induces, your heart starts pounding, you're just like hitting every button you can to try to get away from this thing. And it's not working.
Yep. Also, Forest Temple at night is actually creepier to me than the Shadow Temple.
Okay, give me a second. Okay, we're back.
Hi.
When the screen lags, I have to restart in case it messes up audio. Anyway, back to what we were saying.
Yep.
So yeah, this thing just comes waddling out towards you, and you're like, oh dear God, no.
And I don't believe there's any lore explanation for it ever given.
No, there's not.
It's just a thing. It is there. It shows up again in the Shadow Temple. It's much less terrifying there. No, instead there you have to deal with invisible wall masters.
Those don't bother me so much.
I wouldn't mind them nearly as much if it weren't for the fact that
they break up into tiny
invisible.
pieces.
No, it's the fact that they're invisible.
The invisible part doesn't bother me because all I have to do for that is the Eye of Truth.
Yeah, if you have the magic for it.
I never run out of magics.
I tend to abuse my magic.
I don't.
I tend to play mage characters, even my Link. Just, that's my preferred playstyle.
That, friends, is why you do not drink a Po.
Did you just curse yourself?
Yes!
Oh.
On that note...
On the topic of lore and things lore related, since this is in fact a lore episode,
Yes, it is.
other than the well, what were we going to talk about?
Well, there was one thing I really wanted to talk about as well, and that is the theory of the Shadow Temple and the well are supposedly where the Sheikah were tortured and then sealed away for betraying Hyrule.
Okay, I've heard the theory that the Shadow Temple is the tomb of the Sheikah. I have not heard about the well being where they were tortured.
Now, okay, so here's the theory.
It makes sense.
Yes, it does. With
Here.
all the stuff that's down there, it does make sense.
Guillotine down there.
There's a lot of guillotines down there.
There should not be a guillotine under a well.
No.
It's not even under the well. It's in the well.
I'm gonna stop drinking Pose now.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Stop drinking spirits of the undead.
Anyway, so the theory is that whenever there were there's a war when Link is which is why Link was taken away from Hyrule and given to the Deku tree. That's why he started living with the Kokiri.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when this happened during the war, there were supposedly 2 or 3 groups. I think it was 3 that were opposing the rule of the king.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for there to have been 3 groups, this would have had to have been the Sheikah, the Gerudo, and the Zoras.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm unsure about the Zoras being involved in this war, but basically what it is that the Hyruleans think of themselves as the best race. They are the race gifted by the goddesses. Their land is the land of the Triforce. It has the most fertile land, all this stuff. And they hog it.
Yeah. Oh, hey, you just missed the gold sculptula.
Yes, I have said in a few videos, I'm going to do a video dedicated to finding all of the golden skeletons so people can follow along. Yeah, so I'm leaving them all alone for now. So I don't have to go, well, you have to see that one in this video. Yeah. So I haven't killed a single one yet.
Okay. That makes sense.
I'm gonna have them throughout the game. I just letting them stack up for a bit so I have a full 15 minutes of skeletal killing.
That's fair.
So basically, the Sheikah were punished for their treachery by the destruction of the entire tribe, minus one, who was the one who helped to take them down, which is Impa.
Hi, Impa.
Yeah, hi Impa, and your loyalty to destroy your entire race. So Impa was charged with punishing the leader of the Sheikah, which is rumored to be Vati, who is
makes sense.
rumored to be the boss of the Shadow Temple. In the boss room is where Impa cut off his arms, ripped out an eye, and tortured him to death. Which is why he shows up in the appearance that he has.
Hi, Bongo Bongo.
In his rage, as he died, he cursed the entire Kakariko village.
Makes sense.
Which is why he shows up as a shadow. Now, he was sealed inside the well. His soul was sealed inside the well, away from his body. Which is why, in one of the cutscenes, you see the giant shadow flee from the well after the seal breaks and return to the Shadow Temple. Supposedly, this is to return to his body so that he can enact his revenge on the Hyrule family. The rest of the Sheikah were both killed inside the well trying to release his soul, and sealed inside as well as sealed up inside the Shadow Temple behind the door so they couldn't escape, so they starved to death.
Explains the bodies.
Yes, it does.
So the other temples, to my memory, don't have corpses lying around.
No, they don't. Not even the Sand Temple. Despite
And
the fact...
well,
Yes.
Spirit Temple, we should specify.
Yes, the Spirit Temple. Despite the fact that the Spirit Temple is shown as... it's supposed to be the Spirit Temple. There are no bodies, no spirits. You get lizard men and the occasional statue and some other things like that, but you don't actually run across any spirits or pose. The only people who could be linked to any spirits are the bosses who use dark magic. There is another thing about Kakariko. There is I can't show you right now because I don't have the bombs yet, but there is a hole around here in this area that leads to some dead bodies that are literally living under Kakariko. And the ground literally around them looks like... Exactly, the entire town is a giant graveyard. I would also like to talk about the Composer Brothers.
Oh, right. Who make a return in Majora's Mask.
They do. They do make a return in Majora's Mask. It isn't a very long one. It isn't, but it does give you something that you need.
Yes.
So I'm returning to the graveyard. And I'm going to go over, because you can actually fight the Composer Brothers, and you actually get to see them. I'm not going to do it, because this episode is lore only.
Mm-hmm.
Though I could do it. Technically, it doesn't have anything to do with the game.
I'd save it for another episode, in terms of fighting them.
Yeah. So, basically, these two graves next to the graves that cause rain, the grave that causes rain, with the, they're the only ones with those icons on them.
Mm-hmm.
One of which is a half moon, and the other of which is the sun.
Mm-hmm.
They created the sun song. And there's the sun song is at the bottom of the, if you saw last episode, is at the bottom of this grave down here. Where there are even more dead bodies. There are bones everywhere, as you can see. There's undead in the next room. It's, again, just a giant graveyard.
Worth noting, those dead bodies are not human.
No, they are not. They are...
Lizalfos, I'm going to guess, because of the skull. Oh, and then there's a human skeleton.
We don't actually... Yeah, this is rumored to be the Sheikah ritual site.
Would make sense. I don't know why the Sheikah were murdering a bunch of Lizalfos, but...
Not only that, they were murdering animals, because there's a cow skull over here, and there's a giant person over here, and there's, look, these rib cages here that are just huge.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's who knows what they were killing down here, but there's a, vast majority of bones that don't belong to humans, and then some that belong to humans.
Mm-hmm.
So it could have been a very dangerous ritual, and would sometimes end up in the death of a Sheikah.
Mm-hmm.
So my personal theory, is that this is where they would send the Sheikah to fight something, to prove that they are Sheikah, as their end of training.
The Sheikah's seemingly system of brain. Please function. I had words. Those words are now
gone.
How make word. Fit with their noble warrior race guy motif.
So
because he had ropes. Oh god, re-deads. Why?
Down here, see this green stuff now? That's at the bottom of the well.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. quite literally everywhere.
And redeads.
Yes, as well as those redeads, and they're terrifying. They can be. I'm not going to run towards one.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to. You know what? I'm going to do it.
Have fun getting
Raped.
raped. Yeah.
I'm going to let one attack me so you guys can see. Yeah. This is part of so many fanfics that it's not even it's wrong.
Yeah. Oh good, you managed to get away in time.
Yeah, and I killed one.
Yay!
And now the others, having sensed that their friend is dead, will walk towards you. So we're gonna run away. And I'm also gonna get rid of that beeping because it's really annoying, so we'll be right back. So we're back, and we were actually talking a little bit off screen, and she told me that there is some lore behind redeads, and I'm gonna let her explain because she knows more about it.
I really don't know much, but I know that there's a common theory that when you go back to the well, not Back to the Future, that's a movie. When you go to the future for the first time, you step into Hyrule Town and the square, and there's a bunch of redeads around. There are no people. So the common theory for a long-ass time was that redeads were corpses. Reanimated corpses, basically zombies.
Yeah.
It fit in with the pattern of them violently attacking your skull and trying to bite through your skull to get to your brain.
Yes, it does.
But some lore came out, I believe, through the strategy guide for...
I used to have that strategy guide.
But through the strategy guide for Ocarina of Time, and possibly confirmed in Hyrule Historia, I haven't actually read through my copy enough to know for sure.
I need to read it too.
But the redeads are not actually reanimated corpses.
No, they're not.
They are animated dark magic.
Which dark magic is a really big theme in The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time and in Majora's Mask.
Yep. Although you're more
dark
likely
magic
to
shows
see...
up a lot in the Legend of Zelda series.
You're more likely to see Gyarados? Or is it Gyarados? Well, basically mummy versions of redeads.
In Majora's Mask, yeah.
Majora's Mask.
The redeads do show up. They don't show up often, but they do show up.
Yep.
While the mommy versions...
more likely.
Yeah, they're far more likely. I will have a big conversation with Kitsu about the about those probably whenever I play Majora's Mask, which I'm going to play after I play this.
Mm-hmm. But
jumping enemies.
redeads are animated dark magic, not corpses. This is something that is highly entertaining.
Yes, if you combine that with the fact that the Sheikah lived in that village before Impa killed them all and opened the village up to all Hyruleans to apologize for the Sheikah's innate ability to just do as they're told.
Mm-hmm.
Which honestly makes... Damn it, hold on. Which honestly makes the Sheikah basically slaves to the Hyrule family.
Yes, this is actually confirmed in multiple sources that they served the Hyrule family exclusively, and if they didn't obey, bad things happened to them.
Like being tortured with your arms cut off.
Yeah.
This would also explain why Mr. Crazy Arms is down there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even gonna think about that. Oh god, my brain just went, maybe he's the congealed form of multiple Sheikahs.
Yeah, let's not think about that.
Let's not.
Brain.
We're both like, no!
No, my brain just, I had a thought, that song.
Is it doing that
song.
thing again?
Yeah.
Whee!
And
Link, the amazing 7-year-old? 7?
it's debatable if he's 7 or 10.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. He's kind of short. He's a shorty.
He's a shorty, and all we know about adult Link is that he is classified as an adult. We don't know by what culture standards.
Yeah, because in Japan, 13 is old enough to consent for sex.
In some places.
In some places, yeah. That could also be a rumor. We don't know. We've never been to Japan. Anywho.
Oh.
So there's a lot of bad stuff going on in Kakariko Village, which I'm sure you're all excited to see now if you continue to watch this video. And it's nightmare inducing for people who weren't expecting it, who were kids, which is why they're commonly saying, is this game really for kids?
Yeah.
And I'd say yes as well, because
it's understated. They don't really draw attention to the fact that all this creepy stuff is happening.
Yeah, they don't. As kids, you don't notice it. It's not until someone talks about it that you're going, oh my god, that makes so much sense, and is terrifying, and would explain everything that's happening. As a child, you're just like, okay, it's a creepy area, move on with my life now. And nowadays, a lot of kids are so desensitized to creepy things like that, you know, the stuff in the well doesn't bother them.
I still have nightmares about the well.
I don't. It never bothered me. But I was also that kid that at 2 years old was watching Poltergeist with no issues. That was my favorite movie when I was 2. Poltergeist. I think I broke her, everybody! That being said, I think we're gonna end the video here. Thanks for watching.